Boxing Ego here. If you like this video, make sure you hit the like button and also subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon on the top of your screen to get notified when the latest new content drops. What up, fight world? It's your boy Ego and I'm back with some more boxing. Now, it was the post-fight announcement heard around the world. First of all, make sure you smash the like button and subscribe to the channel. We working. And after a very disappointing performance and fight that didn't live up to the expectations as far as I'm concerned, Cinco de Mayo weekend, we expected Mexican style, two guerreros, two Mexican warriors to clash, and we didn't really get that. We got one Mexican warrior and then another fighter, Chavez Jr., who didn't deliver. His performance was very flat for whatever reason, and it just was super one-sided, and he didn't show that commitment that he showed in the face-off or in the build-up, or I'm going to go out on my shield, and no matter what happens, even if I get knocked out or knocked down, I'm going to push, and I'm going to push Canelo. You know what I mean? And that's the super disappointing stuff when the fighters talk before the fight, like Broner. Even though Broner, to me, see, I'm honest, Broner showed more heart in the Chino Maidana loss than Chavez Jr. because Broner was at least trying. He got himself up. He actually got knocked down twice, and he was still fighting, and he still hurt Maidana late. Chavez really did nothing. This looked like Sergio Martinez with just a different style. Canelo was a lot more flat-footed and wasn't relying on lateral movement as much, not a southpaw, but it looked like the first 11 rounds of that fight, you know what I mean, where it's just like one guy simply can't get off and do what he does with Andy Lee or Manfredi and different fighters like that, Marco Antonio Rubio. So just a disappointing. Even Nacho Beristain, I did a video about it, he admits, he said, I understand why the fans are mad, but on to bigger and better situations. The Canelo Triple G fight was announced, and that was, to me, the best part of the card. Seeing them both in the ring, them having a press conference, and finally getting the fight that we all wanted. You know what I mean? Stop trying to marinate it and milk it out, and people have been asking for it. It's going to make the amount of money. Canelo moved up past 160 to 164.5. He made weight. He looked effective. He looked very sharp. He looked strong. And Golovkin, he beat Danny Jacobs, and that was his biggest test. And he won on paper. So I'm looking forward to it. I think the timing's still great. Abel Sanchez, Golovkin trainer, at the press conference, he was speaking on this particular fight. And Abel Sanchez says, and I quote, I think Canelo displayed today some great boxing skills and great combinations, but he's not going to have Chavez Jr. in front of him. It's going to be Gennady Triple G Golovkin. I think this is going to be a great fight. This is the type of fight that can go 2 or 3 times. Now, I don't always agree with Abel Sanchez. Sometimes his opinions of his fighter seems a bit radical to me, but I agree with him 100% right here. As far as the prediction, I really don't know. And this is the mark of a great fight. I got to think about it. I got to watch tape and really assess this. I can really see a lot of the viewpoints shifting to Canelo based on how he's looked. He's only 26. He's improving his defense. His hand speed is quicker than Golovkin. And Golovkin's last 2 fights didn't look inhuman. You know what I mean? He didn't look like this machine that is unbeatable. In fact, I had Danny Jacobs. I was at that fight live in New York, and I had Danny Jacobs winning by a small margin in a competitive fight. Once again, keep it real. It's all about consistency and really expressing what you see. Some people get mad. I say I have Andre Ward winning by a small margin. They say it's because you're biased. I have Daniel Jacobs winning by a small margin. But the funny thing is, the people who are oftentimes saying the opposite of what I'm saying, they aren't being objective. It's just Kovalev won, Ward's he's a chump. You know what I'm saying? Or Danny Jacobs, you see him with the sunglasses, and it's just these radical comments. So if you really weren't that emotionally vested, then you would be able to state your point of view without the theatrics and without the extras. You know what I'm saying? And that goes to show a lot of times people just don't like what you have to say, but I don't care because I'm going to speak what I see, and I'm always going to reveal that to the public. You know what I mean? I don't have no reason to hide or falsify information. And I seen Jacobs winning. I watched the fight more than once at this point. I watched it live. I seen him winning. there's some things he could have done differently. And I just spoke with him yesterday, and I'll get those interviews up with Danny Jacobs soon. And he brought up that fight. But there's a reason why Abel Sanchez says that fight, that rematch with Daniel Jacobs, is not 4, 5, 6 fights away. You know what I'm saying? Because they don't want a rematch, and they don't want an immediate rematch and mess up this opportunity to fight Canelo, get that payday, and then, you know what I mean, beat guy who's going to bring you more money. Fighting Canelo on a Mexican Independence Day weekend is going to definitely generate you more money. So I can't even fault Team Golovkin for now that I know, now the cat's out of the bag. Of course, you're going to take the big money, and it's not even an easy fight either. You got past the Jacobs thing, so of course you're going to have your eyes set on Canelo. You're going to make more money. Canelo only has 1 loss, and he's a bigger star than Jacobs or really anyone in boxing. So of course you're going to test your skills against that. Plus you've been in there with Jacobs. You know he's a full-fledged middleweight. I'm sure he felt the power. But like I said before, remember when I was doing the videos talking about Golovkin's sudden soreness when Frank Warren said, hey, Golovkin, they said he's injured. And then Abel Sanchez said, oh, I don't think he's injured per se. And then it came out after that he was sore. Now what do you guys think? You know what I'm saying? Who was telling the truth? Frank Warren, ego, or was it the stuff we were hearing? And to me, Oscar De La Hoya is saying we made this deal, Canelo versus Golovkin, in 2 weeks. I told you it was going to happen in September. I kept my word. Canelo's like, yeah, I told you I'm not afraid to fight anyone. I was born without fear. It only took 2 weeks to make this fight. The fight's done. It was easy to make, things like that. So to me, I don't care what nobody says. That tells me what it was with the whole Golovkin not fighting Billy Joe Saunders. So to me, that was hypocritical, because I can understand pursuing, again, not pursuing a Billy Joe Saunders, not pursuing a Daniel Jacobs in an effort to capture an even bigger fight where you'll make a lot more money and still against a good fighter. I totally understand that. However, as a man, as a person, you have to be consistent and be congruent with what you say. So that's all I ask from the fighters, the trainers, and you guys can hold me to the same standards. Like, I don't say, like, you never heard me once get on YouTube and say, I'm on YouTube and my goal is to not make money. That's stupid, because I don't care about money like some people. I'm not a materialistic person. I can have $50 and go to a beach and have the time of my life. So I don't need to flash money and stuff, but I'm definitely on this platform to make money, because if you make money, then you're going to overall be happier in terms, not money is happiness, but you're going to be content, and you don't have past due bills and stuff like that. And ultimately that creates a means for you to keep going. If you're passionate about the sport of boxing, and then you get on a platform like YouTube, of course you want to make money, because that can keep things going. Now I don't have to work for anybody, because I can work for myself. I'm in Las Vegas right now. I just went to a box fan expo taking pictures with fans. So I enjoy doing this. So obviously it requires money to keep doing this. That's just the nature of the beast. So I would respect it, and respected it more if Team Golovkin said, you know what, we really want to unify, but if there's a bigger fight like Canelo, then that trumps everything. Because if you said that, then this would be no shock and it would make sense. But Team Golovkin, they kind of play like Golovkin's so noble and he desperately wants to unify. But at the end of the day, that wasn't really the case. He wants to unify and become undisputed. However, the redhead, as they call him, supersedes all of that, because you had the opportunity. Billy Joe Saunders is going crazy trying to redeem himself from looking scared of Golovkin last year and saying comments like, oh, Golovkin will beat me and Chris Eubanks in the same night. And he's trying to redeem himself, and he was radically calling you out. Frank Warren said, my fighter deserves the fight. Billy Joe Saunders finally wanted the fight, said he has his pin, and you opt to not fight him because you know you're fighting Canelo behind the scenes in September, or it was getting close to that. So you don't want to chance it. You don't want to have a tough fight. You don't want to risk injury. So again, I don't fault Team Golovkin for going after the bigger fight, because it's a business decision. You know, I would want that too. I would want to make the most money against a good fighter, and this is a long brewing fight that he's wanted. But the thing, like I said, to eliminate the hypocrisy from it, then don't act all noble like you're just in it. Like Canelo's just a businessman. That's literally what Team Golovkin has said. No, business fight. He's a businessman, not a boxer, right? And then you fight Kell Brook for $5 million. That's a business decision, right? And you bypass becoming undisputed, or the chance at undisputed, to fight the quote-unquote redhead Canelo. So that's a business move too. So just call it what it is. But I totally agree with Abel Sanchez as far as what he said. I would put money on it. I don't care who you're picking. If you're picking Golovkin or Canelo, very good fight. For me, I'm realistic. It's a hard fight for me to predict because either guy has a shot to win. I can make a sound argument for why either guy would win. I think Canelo has overall better skills, better defense, but Golovkin, you look at him next to Canelo when he's in the ring yesterday, he looks noticeably bigger. We already know he's not the biggest middleweight, but he's bigger than Canelo. Canelo's kind of short, so he already has the reach. He's taller. You've seen that jab. David Lemieux's been looking like a wrecking ball his last 2 fights with Curtis Stevens and even Marcos Reyes, and Lemieux looked like a fraction of that versus Triple G. In fact, he looked, to me, David Lemieux's performance was almost equivalent to David Lemieux's performance against Golovkin. To me, is in the same tax bracket of Chavez Jr.'s performance versus Canelo, meaning against the style you were in with the attributes that you have, that you bring to the table, you showed none of it. Chavez Jr. could have exercised his size advantage. He's a non-stop come forward pressure guy with good body work and good inside fighting. He showed none of that. And to me, I would put the David Lemieux performance versus Golovkin in the same bracket because David Lemieux didn't use really any of his strengths. You're a shorter man, but you have this crazy, and I believe the most single shot power at middleweight, perhaps because he just put so much torque and energy into them punches, and none of that was really displayed versus Golovkin. And of course, Canelo did things versus Chavez Jr. Golovkin had a good jab, so you got to credit them for it. But I still think even if David Lemieux were to lose, even if Chavez Jr. were to lose, they could have made the fight more compelling. They could have at least won rounds or a round, you know what I mean? Which they barely did, if that. So I agree with Abel. Golovkin, I'll put money on it, he wouldn't go out like Chavez Jr. That's not his MO. You know what I mean? He shows a good beard. I haven't really seen him get like really hit, but Danny Jacobs hit him with some cool, clean shots and spots. And I think the body shots had more of an effect on Golovkin than the head shots. Like, he ate the Jacobs head shots. You know what I mean? The Kell Brook might have surprised him, but I don't think he was like on Queer Street or nothing. So it's a good fight, man. And again, Golovkin with his style and stuff, he's not going to just lay down for Canelo. He's not going to lose 12 rounds to Canelo like that. I can't picture that. So I agree with Abel Sanchez. This is a fight that has the makings of a war, and it could possibly go to a trilogy. Let me know what you guys think. Do you agree with Abel Sanchez? Who are you picking, man? This is a good fight, and that's how you know it's a good fight. Like I always say, if it wasn't a good fight, then you wouldn't have so many people split. Drop your predictions below. A lot of stuff coming. Make sure you share the video, like the video as always. Hate, comment, and subscribe. Till next video is Ego signing off. So if you enjoyed this video and want more content like this on the channel, you can show your appreciation by going to the PayPal donate button or the YouTube support button, and you can donate any amount that you feel is equivalent to the value of this video. Much more to come. Thank you guys for your support. Boxing Ego, the future of boxing.